My people, welcome back to your favorite You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. Tonight, my people, we're going to talk about the magnificent you. All right, my people, welcome to this week's episode. We're here with Francesca ANASTASI.
Yes.
Grazie.
Yes. That's very good. Hi, Louise.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, you're so amazing. First of all, look at how you're dressed. So beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And then you're the woman who is organizing a conference which is titled Magnificent You.
Yes.
What's that about?
It's about you.
Yeah.
You as a woman.
Yes.
And the conference addresses different aspects of women's lives, and I wanted to create an event where it addressed different aspects, where women could just come and take it all in, whatever is needed at the time for them. So anything from how to be a better leader to relationships, to how to dress better, to understanding money better, money mindset, like.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how did you start? Because you talk about succeeding against all odds.
Yes.
How did you start, and what were those odds against you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I started back in, well, let's see, how far back can we go? There was a point in my life I was going through my first divorce, and while I was going through the separation, I lost everything.
How many divorces do you have?
I've had 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm done with divorces.
Okay.
So I was going through my first divorce. I was in the middle of separation, and I was living in this little basement suite, and I hadn't been really working prior, so it was hard to find a job. I managed to find a job that barely paid the bills and all my legal fees as I was going through that separation. And one day someone decided to set fire to the house where I was renting the basement suite from, and I lost everything. I really didn't have much. But I didn't have money to pay insurance for my belongings.
So you're broke, you're getting divorced, and you're living in a basement, and then it's also set on fire.
Yeah, I was there with my daughter. At the time, she was 9, and we happened to be away. It was over the holiday season, and some friends had invited us over the Christmas, and they said, "I'll just come over, take a break." And then I get this phone call from one of my friends and says, "Are you sitting down?" And I'm like, come on, this is something you kind of hear about. Yeah. Now she's like, really, you need to sit down for this. And I'm like, okay. And she said, someone set fire to the house, and you can't get in there. It's a homicide scene. There's the landlord who lived down upstairs. He actually died in the fire as well. So which is pretty sad. He was a handicapped man, so he couldn't get out. The rest of his family did, but he wasn't able to get out. So that was very, very, very sad. So I lost everything, and then 10 days later, as I go to work, the job that was paying barely by the end of the month, my boss calls me in and says, "I'm so sorry, Francesca." He had tears rolling down his face. I was like, "I hate to do this to you because I know what you just went through." And he goes, "But we have to let you go. We're letting pretty much everybody go.
Yeah.
The company wasn't doing so well." And
what kind of job was it?
I was working at the front desk. It was a computer company. It's a hardware company. And they just weren't doing very well at the time. It was back in 2001. So within 10 days, I lost my home. Everything, well, my home, where I lived. And the few things that I had. And then 10 days later, the job. And then I kept looking for work. And
after losing the marriage, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was, and it was really hard to find work. I was going to interview after that, and it just wasn't happening. It's just like nothing. And then my unemployment insurance was starting to run out.
Yeah.
And then it was September 11th. It was like 9/11 happened, so that we're talking 2001, and then nobody was even interviewing anymore.
Yeah.
Because the mood was so dark, right? And it was just like, what am I going to do? EI is running out. I have a mouth to feed. And I had to make something happen. People are
and
not
you're
hiring
still
me.
young.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. And I I thought, okay, if nobody's going to hire me, then I had to hire myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
I decided if I was going to hire myself, I'd do something that I really enjoy. So something that I always loved doing was dance. And I was already helping some teachers in Vancouver. I was assisting them in their classes at no fee. I was doing it because I loved it so much. So I thought, well, maybe it's time to make it pay me and put some bread on the table. Yeah. So that's what I did. I decided to start a dance company that catered to adults, adult beginners.
Yeah.
And when I first opened the doors, nobody showed up.
So when you say adult dance is not a strip thing?
No.
Okay.
no. It was, okay, since when I was little, I always wanted to take dance lessons. And, my parents, they were very protected. There wasn't enough finances, so I didn't get the chance to go to dance school as a child. And over the years, I'd heard so many women say, oh, I wish I'd had taken lessons. I wish I had taken lessons. And I thought, why not create a space where women, adults can actually start taking, whether it's ballet, jazz, hip-hop, ballroom, whatever they want. Yeah. And that's what I did. So I created a place for it. Yeah.
Okay. My people, let's take a short break, and then we'll come back and keep talking about it. You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show. All right, my people, we're back. We're talking to Francesca. So we've already established that it was regular dancing, wasn't strip clubbing.
It was not a strip club, And it's funny.
You would have made more money, though.
I would have. And it's funny that you say that because I remember the time that I was trying to figure out what to do. Someone actually suggested, why don't you go strip? You would make a lot of money. Yeah. And I thought, I can't do that. It's just not for me. Yeah. And I don't want to go home and tell my daughter this is what I do. No offense to anybody who does that and feels fine about it. It's just not who I am. Yeah. So I thought, the money would be good, but I'd rather go a different way about it. So, and this way I'm helping other women too. Yeah, and then you can also do something that you're proud of doing. Yeah. So how long were you a dance teacher, and then how did you transition from that into being a businesswoman and organizing a huge conference that so many wonderful people are coming to speak to? It's a great question. When I opened the studio, nobody showed up. Oh, nobody. I went by the book. I did everything by the book. I took a self-employment program. I did everything, and it just wasn't working. So I had to figure it out. I had to reconfigure and, okay, this is a new thing. This didn't exist in those days when I started this. There was no other model to follow. So I had to get very inventive, very creative. So it took 6 months before I filled out my classes. I figured out the formula. And so it became really successful after that. So I built into 6 figures within 60 months, 68 months. And what I found was that I was getting mostly women to come at the studio, and there's a common thread between each woman regardless of what their job was, whether they were a stay-at-home mom or a woman who has a high corporate job. Very, very common theme going on, and I saw this need. That's why the conference, and there's a need. And I kept thinking, I should have a workshop on this, and I should have a workshop on that, and I should bring some. So before you know it, now I have a big conference coming, so I'm putting it all in one. And so I lost track of what portion of that one, the question. Yeah, like how do you go from dancing to organizing conferences? So that is one thing. I decided to close the studio after 10 years. So I taught full-time with the dance studio for 10 years. And interestingly enough, because I wanted to do this event, which grew to a big conference, just about 2 years ago, I came across my original business plan. And I looked at it, and I was already planning the conference. And I opened it, and I looked right there on the first page that the personal development programs were part of the plan all along. It's right there, my 2002 business plan. Wow. So it's something that I think was always there, and it's just now transitioned to that. And I kind of left the dance itself because the teaching the dance part, because I found that a lot of people wouldn't give me a lot of credibility as a business person. I mean, I ran a dance company, ran a 6-figure dance company, and I was doing really well. I was training instructors. I was teaching them how to how to run their business as freelancers, how to get gigs, but I still wasn't getting the credibility outside of that realm, and I wanted to branch out. So I thought
they can't take you seriously. They think, oh, you're just a dancer.
Just a dancer, that's right. So I thought, you know what, let's just, and it's okay, because I got my fill of dance. I was very happy to have done it for the 10 years. And it's just time to focus on this. It's just, I strongly believe in that. And I do have the other company where I do run, I don't teach, but we do have a dance event.
So how many speakers do you have, and how do you select these speakers? You have one of your speakers who's been on the show. We love her.
Maureen, yes. Maureen, I called her. I contacted her. I had heard her show on the radio, and I thought she would be fun to have, so I called her. So we have 21 speakers. They're coming from all over North America. We have Jill Lublin coming from the U.S. We have Susie Pruden. She's been a speaker for many, many years, and she's been on the Oprah show. I can't even remember them all, but we have 21 speakers, and they're all amazing.
So you pretty much just contact them?
No, I only contacted Maureen and a couple others. What I did is I just put it out there. I put it online. I'm having this conference. Applications for speakers are open. Submit online, and I just got flooded.
Nice.
So that's what happened.
So I guess people want to get to know the magnificent side of themselves.
I think everybody has a message to share. I think all the speakers, I've seen a thread with all the speakers that have applied, even the ones that didn't get in, because of course we only have so many spots. But there's so much passion and so many women that want to help other women.
Yeah. And
that in itself inspires me.
Wow. Okay, let's take a break on that one. All right, my people, we'll come back on that one. You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show. All right, my people, we're back with Francesca. So women want to teach other women.
They do. I think we all have a story, whether you're a speaker or you're not a speaker.
Yeah.
Everybody has a story. And I think that there are some of us, a lot of us, that want to share that story, not for the sake of just sharing the story, but to actually help other women overcome or deal or face a certain situation in a much easier way. Because when you have that knowledge, that gives you so much power. When you know how to, it makes life a lot easier. This is the conference I wish I had 20 years ago, before all this stuff happened to me. I've always been a very strong student of personal development. I've always taken as much as I could. And I think because of that, I am the strong person I am today. I would probably not be standing here. I mean, there was a point in my life where I was completely suicidal. And that's it. I'm just going to end it here. This is not worth it.
Yeah.
And I felt less worthy than the speck of dust on the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want anyone to be there.
Yeah.
So
and how did you get out of that, mood?
That particular, it was actually my daughter, because I was literally ready to do this. I was all set up to kill myself. And all of a sudden, I had this picture of my daughter, and I thought, I can't do this to her. I cannot do this to her. What kind of example am I to her? What kind of life is she going to have if I'm not there for her as she grows? So she's the one who saved me.
She kept you alive.
She kept me alive.
Wow.
But had she not been there, what if I didn't have a child? I wouldn't be here, right? But also because I also continued taking a lot of the personal development programs right after that as well. So
where does this name come from, Magnificent You? How did you come up with that name? It's so beautiful. It's so magnificent.
Well, because I believe that every person is. Everybody has this magnificence inside, and it's just a matter of just letting it show. It's just about embracing it. It's just about acknowledging it. We all are magnificent in our own unique way. We all have gifts.
So what kind of other speakers do you have, and what kind of topics, like what can people expect to learn when they come to the conference? I know Maureen is talking about sex.
Yes. She's going to talk about the neurochemistry of love and lust and sex, which I think is very important, especially when it comes to relationships. Because if you understand that, it makes it easier to be with your partner and understand the other side as well.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, empowered leadership is one of the topics. Top of my head, discovering your sacred gifts is another one. How to not live small. How to play big in life. How to be your own superhero is another topic. How to reach your goals faster. There are so many, like I can't remember ultimately one of them. But it's pretty much a wide range. There's something for everyone. So we have the main stage speakers, but we also have the breakout sessions so that each person can select what.
So are men allowed at this conference, or is it just women?
It's just women. And I have nothing against men. It's just this particular event. I just want to create a safe space for women to feel 100% comfortable asking whatever question they have to ask, especially with Maureen there. So I want that, I want that comfort, safe space.
Very nice. And then is there an age group? Are you targeting a specific age group of women?
You know what? I'm mainly targeting between 30 and 55, 60, but I'm seeing younger people purchasing tickets, which is really interesting to see, and actually brings me joy to see that. And the reason I'm targeting the little after the 30 is because that's the point where sometimes we feel we're too old to start anything. Right?
That's a very good point.
It's like, I'm too old now. This is not for me. Let the young generation, or who am I to do this now, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And this is my focus market, or my focus people.
Yeah.
People I want to focus on, because it's like, hey, I started late. I didn't have the education. I didn't have the dance background. Yeah, I had some training, but I didn't have enough training to start a dance company. I didn't have business training. Like I took the employment program, but I didn't have all this business experience. So I just basically want to share that it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
You can start. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Is there somebody out there who inspired you and kept you going?
Not one in particular. I had to say it's just different women. Like I said, at the studio we had. The majority of the students were women. They were my inspiration. The stories. I mean, seeing students come in sometimes with bruises. You just go, how'd you do that? What happened? And it's like, I bumped into the door. Well, how many times a week do you bump into doors, right? Or so, common threads coming on, and they're like, these are people I'm targeting. Yeah.
So how old is your daughter now?
She's 26.
Ooh.
She's 26.
She's a grown-up girl now.
She's a grown-up girl.
So is she part of the people that you want to inspire?
You know what? She's an inspiring person herself. I think she's been inspired throughout, because she's lived through all this as well. And unknowingly, I think she doesn't quite realize that she's actually doing the same thing. She's inspiring other people as well. She's a motivator, go-getter, and unstoppable. And I'm very proud of her.
Yeah. Does she know how she has inspired you?
She will now. Yeah. Now she knows. I keep telling her that she's,
Yeah. But other than that, what gives you the self-confidence that you have to do what you do?
What gives me, why shouldn't I have it? Why shouldn't I have it? I've had times where people have criticized me and have made me retreat. And I felt, well, maybe I shouldn't be out there. Maybe I shouldn't be so visible. Maybe I should be quiet. And then last year I had this epiphany, you know what? Who cares what people think? Like, why stifle what I can do? Like, this is what we're here for. What kind of life do I have if I can't live it fully and do what I really love to do? And in this case, it's helping other people.
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing, because people are always scared about what are people going to say about me, especially women.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like a prison.
Yeah.
It's an invisible it's like you're behind these invisible bars because you hold back. Well, I won't do a live video because I'm not going to look good, and they're going to think, you know, or my makeup is not on, or whatever the case, right? No more.
Yeah.
So like that's what gives me the confidence.
You will be saying no to yourself before people even say no to you.
Exactly. And, you know, nobody really cares. There may be a few people that, so what? Not everybody's ever going to like you.
Yeah.
Right? Some people like you. Some people want the ones that don't.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You don't have to look this way. Go somewhere else, right? So.
All right. Let's take a short break. My people, don't bye yet. It's just a break.
You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show.
All right, my people, we're back with Francesca. Thank you for being here. So what does the future look like for you? Do you have other big projects in the work?
I do. It's not a conference, though. Yes. I'm actually I'm developing and launching. Confidence Institute is the company name that I founded back in 2002, which is now focusing on the personal development. So the conference is under that. But also I'm going to be launching a lot more programs under the business training, the business development, as well as the personal development. So I will be partnering up with different experts and offering more programs live and online in that area. So that's the.
And is this a yearly thing that you're going to be doing, or what is your vision for the conference, ideally?
Ideally, it's not a yearly event. I don't want it to be a yearly event because, for one, I don't want to be tied to a yearly event. That's one reason. If I do other events, it'll be in a different format. It'll be different. I will be offering other events. It won't be exactly like this. So I believe in giving people opportunities. It's there. Take it. Don't miss the opportunity. If you miss it, then that's it, right? Yeah, not another conference just because I want to do other things. The conference is very time-consuming.
What is like your top dream that you want to realize right now? I mean, put it in the universe. You never know.
My top dream is to inspire all the people that I get in touch with, whether it's face-to-face, through media, or radio, or through writing. I'd like to start getting into writing as well. I haven't done that. I've been saying to myself, I need to write a book, and I think I'm finally going to do it coming up. So.
Well, the previous guest we had, she was talking about how writing her book was harder than having a baby.
I believe it. Yes, because you know what? I have all my notes on the book. I probably have 3 books, but I have all my notes, and it's just so. I found it very difficult to just sit down and actually write it.
Yeah.
Have bullet points.
Yeah.
Pages of bullet points.
Yeah.
But I haven't sit down to actually. I think I need to be on a private island for a month.
Yeah, away from all that distraction.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so hard about writing. You actually have to write it. I mean, everybody thinks about it, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
But you actually have to do it. This is the hardest part about writing.
Yeah, and then when you get in the mode, then you're in the mode,
Yeah.
right? And you don't want any interruption.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I find the hardest thing is the interruptions.
Yeah. All coming from all sides of people.
Yeah.
Wow. So what has made you successful that you can tell other young upcoming people that this is what has made me successful? This is what you need to be or do?
You have to always grow. Always find ways to grow. Always find the lesson in whatever challenge comes your way and find the opportunity in there. And I like to say become an opportunist, but not in a negative way. Always find a win-win for everybody and the opportunity. The opportunities are there. They're there every single day. And we're just not looking for them. But I think if we keep our eyes open and we're looking for them, even in the most challenging situations, they're there. And ask yourself, what good can come out of this?
Yeah.
How can we turn this around?
Yeah.
What is the most positive thing we can get out of this? And if you start thinking that way, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. So what is the most positive thing that came, let's say, from your divorce?
For my divorce?
Yeah.
I am my own woman. I became independent because when I was married, in the first marriage, I was not working. I was diddly-daddling and little things, but I didn't really have a career. I didn't have a job. I was totally dependent on my ex-husband for finances. And so that was a major. So yes, losing everything showed me that I'm much stronger than I thought I was. And becoming an entrepreneur, I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. Like, me?
You'd be a desperate housewife right now.
Yeah, totally. And you know what? Like, I grew up in Sicily. I'm from Italy, and at the time, school was only mandatory up to grade 8. And my dad, very protective at the time, decided not to let me continue school. So, you know, I missed a lot of years of education. So I went back to school.
Because he was worried about?
Yeah, he thought every boy would be after me, and he just wanted me to be safe.
He wasn't so wrong, though.
I think he was wrong. No, it's just the way it was. You know, cultural. At the time, there were a lot of families that did that. They kept the girls home. Their destiny was to basically get married and have kids. Yeah. So I did end up marrying somebody, you know, that had the same belief. Stay home, have kids, cook, clean, right?
Yeah.
But yes, losing everything was a pivotal. For me, yeah. I mean, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
At the time, it looked so dark.
Yeah. And then, does it teach you, what you say is important, does it teach you detachment? Because, you know, you hear people talking about how you need to be a little bit detached in order to enjoy life. Does that teach you...
Detached from what?
Be detached from owning things, let's say.
Yeah, things don't matter.
Like, when you have your house getting burned...
Yeah.
Then what is your, what is your mentality after that in terms of accumulating things?
It's not about things. I really, I'm a minimalist. I really don't care about having a lot of things because they're just things. They're replaceable. They don't bring you happiness. They don't. I mean, we were very lucky. We had our suitcases with us because we were visiting friends. And I know some people lose everything when there's a fire, that they don't even have their toothbrushes with them. But yeah, that's one thing. Detached, if that's how you mean it, yes. Things don't matter. I mean, it's nice to have them. I like to enjoy life.
Yeah.
I like to enjoy every moment, and I like to experience it to the max. But if everything is gone, then everything is gone. That's not the most important thing.
Well, Francesca, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Do you have like a last word? Because we're done.
We're done.
Any last word that you want to throw out?
You're magnificent.
Oh, you're magnificent.
Thank you.
Thank you, my magnificent people. All right, stay tuned for the next episode and stay magnificent. All right?